We have any Boy Scouts? I didn't get a notice. We try to get them to lead us in a pledge. Well, but before we do that, we're going to stand for a moment of silence. Then we'll be led by the Pledge of Allegiance. Amen. Mayor Pro Tem, do you mind leading us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. Item 3, we have approval of the minutes for the September 22nd, 2025 City Council meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any that oppose? Ayes have it. Before we have item 4, we're going to make an amendment to the agenda for October the 13th, and we're going to move the Citizens Academy recognition to item 5 and public comment to item 6. Do I hear a recommendation with that amendment and the approval of the agenda for the October 13th?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose? Ayes have it. So we move right into item 5, will be recognition of the 2025 Citizens Academy graduates. Ms. Kathy Hill, Community Relations Manager, is already up front.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. The Citizen Academy program offers residents of the city and people that work within the city limits an opportunity to learn about the daily operations, budget, and administrative side of city government. With so much information being provided, we have extended the program to 9 weeks to cover as much as possible. With tonight's graduates, we will now have a total of 214 graduates since 2017. We also have a growing number of graduates who have expanded their interest in the city by attending more events, volunteering, becoming more active with their neighborhoods, and joining our boards and commissions. And I just want to put up a few pictures of, this is also showing like who we usually have people that participate in the program. There's a wide variety of people that do participate in it each year. And then also, as I said about the graduates, and then right now we actually have 14 graduates who are serving as members of the city boards and commission. And these are some of the pictures of some of the sessions they had this year. We do bus tours around the city, and we visit the Public Works office, department. And then we met with city council members and also the police department, planning department, and many more. Just want to say thank you to city staff that presented and their willingness to participate each year, providing relevant information about the services provided. And if I could now just have the class to come up. All right, Sam McKern, he is not here. Wendy Bennett, if you would come up front, please. Sheila Dawkins, Andy Drott, Shantae Glenn, Candy Glover, Takora Harris, Caitlin Hazel, Naomi Israel, Renee Johnson, Cathay Jones, Kendra Littlejohn, Kristen Lyon, Jasmine Zong, Jill O'Connell, Vanessa Petty, Carrie Hines Rice, Shirley Smith, Kadada Tate, E. Jean Williams McIver, Whitney Wright, and Ruth Young. This is your 2025 Citizen Academy graduates.
Come on.
Squat those knees, Mr. Mayor.
I'm used to this, I always have my wife. Who do we have? Good. Thank you. During council updates, we usually give words of encouragement and thank you, but I want to go ahead and tell the graduates tonight just congratulations and thank you for your time and your effort with participating in the program. And I know it's definitely, when people talk about giving, you giving up your time really means a lot. It really means you want to put forth some effort and get some things done. So we really do appreciate the time that you all spent in the academy. So thank you. So I'm back up to public comments. So that would be item 6, correct? Item 6, public comment. So now we have a graduate. Andy, come on down. Give us your a name again, Andy, your address, and you'll have 2 minutes after you give us that address.
All right. My name is Andy Drott. I live at 525 Parent Drive, and I am just here to say thank you. About 3 years ago, my daughters chose USC Upstate to go to college together, and as a result, our family started hanging out in Spartanburg more, and we fell in love. We were charmed by the walkable nature of Morgan Square. We dug into the comprehensive plan, and we were inspired. And we started to get to know some of the leaders, some of the staff, some of the people, and we put our house up for sale in Greenville. We bought property here in Spartanburg. About 6 months ago, we moved over here and tried to dive right in and give back because it was clear that so many people in Spartanburg were already giving and making it a cool place for us to come and land as new folks. So we helped found with several others the Strong Town Spartanburg, who you'll probably hear from at least a couple people tonight. And I signed up for Citizens Academy. And I have to say, if you haven't done it, you're out in the crowd or watching online, consider applying to be part of it because it's like a big resource in our community. I want to say thank you to Kathy and Kinsley. I want to say thank you to the leadership of the city for making it a priority, and also thank you to all the staff at the city who give their time and clearly make it a priority. I know so much more about our city and feel so much more permission to get involved, and so I want to say thank you, and that's it. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Tiffany Bailey.
Hello.
Hey, Tiffany.
I'm Tiffany Bailey. My name's Tiffany Bailey. I live at 201 Highland Avenue at Highland Crossing Apartments. I'm coming here straight to the point. Highland Crossing has been there, I want to say 9 years. I've been there the whole time it's been there. From the time I've been there up until this point right now, it has done a whole 180 when it comes down to respect for the tenants, acknowledgement of the tenants, any type of respect for the tenants, and it should stop. It needs to stop. We have no landlord. The landlord we have is in Florida on a phone that we have to talk to from the marquee. We have tenants that are harassing other tenants. I have my neighbor here with me today so she can speak for herself, but we have one tenant that is harassing her, and it's been going on for 2 years, and it's too much. Nobody's doing nothing about it. Police come out, they don't help, they don't do. She doesn't move, they don't evict her. Nobody talks, nobody does nothing. Something has to change. Cause I'm kind of shaking, feeling like this. That apartment doesn't have drama. It doesn't have problems. We have people that know how to have common sense and live. You have other people that feel like they can just do whatever they want because of whatever they feel like they can in their mind. Everybody doesn't think the same. People's minds aren't the same. If somebody snaps on somebody else because of what they're doing, that's all you can do. But the disrespect and the lack of acknowledgement for Highland Crossing is something I don't understand why. I know we're in District 7. And I always wanted to know if Highland Crossing was a part of District 7 or just in District 7 and not a part of Highland. I only asked that because I've been told, oh, well, Highland Crossing isn't a part of Highland. You're just in Highland. So that makes me feel like we get pushed to the side when things are happening or things need to be done. We see more police. We don't see anything positive. We don't see help. We don't get help. I've called I've called so many people to try to get help because of what's going on, and nobody's doing anything. And I'm not even from here, but I've been here, and I'm speaking. I'm a loud person if I need to be. And when something going on and I feel like it's wrong and nobody's making moves, I'm on the phone. Who gonna help? I've been calling everybody. Nobody's giving me answers. We'll call the police. We'll call this. We'll call that. We have it.
Okay. Thank you, Tiffany. I'm sure staff is hearing that, and we're taking notes. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Ashley Reynolds, yes.
Hello. I don't mean to change the morale and everything because I'm so proud of the graduates and everything.
Give us your address, Ashley. And then
201. I'm also Highland Crossing tenant as well. I've been experienced harassment with a neighbor. This has been going on for a little bit over 2 years now, and I've been reaching out, and I've been a part of the community. I work with the kids at the Bethlehem Center. I've thrown my neck out there. I've participated and partake in everything. When it's before school starting, I'm out there with the kids. I'm having a really hard time with this neighbor. I've reached out to police. I'm having I got a story. I called the police. The officers that came out there have laughed in my face. I had oil thrown on my door by this tenant, and I have it on video, and nothing has happened. I have medical records showing that I'm allergic to everything, and nothing has happened. So now I'm trying to just go down the list of the things to do to, get involved with doing things the right way. So I don't know what else to do. So I'm just piggybacking off what Miss Tiffany just said. I don't know what to do.
We'll get some answers for you, Ashley. But one of the staff persons, I'm sure, will talk with you tonight before you leave today.
Okay.
Before you leave here this evening.
All right.
Okay?
Thanks.
Thank you. Courtney McLean.
Good evening. My address is 3460 East Croft Circle, and I will be speaking in support of the hate crimes ordinance. South Carolina is only one of 2 states in the entire country that still refuses to pass a hate crime law. And in 2025, this is not just outdated, but it is dangerous. According to the Southern Poverty Law Center, 33 active hate groups operate in South Carolina, and 2 are right here in Spartanburg. Over 500 hate crimes have been reported since 2015, and that is local, and that is real danger. 17 other communities, including Charleston, Columbia, Greenville, and counties like Richland and Orangeburg, have already acted. They've passed ordinances to protect their residents and send a clear message that hate has no home here. And yet, while thousands of travelers drive past a symbol of hate that still stands on our highway, our city faces a choice. We can look away or we can lead. And this is our moment to show that Spartanburg stands for unity, for the safety of every resident. And by passing this local hate crimes ordinance, this isn't just policy, but it is a public declaration that we will not tolerate hate in our streets, in our schools, in our churches, or in our neighborhoods. So I urge you to please pass this ordinance. Thank you for your consideration of this very serious matter.
Thank you. Sarita Edgerton.
Sarita Edgerton, P.O. Box 170072. So I spoke out at the last meeting against the hate crimes ordinance, and I'm still of the same mind. But when I got home and was watching the very end, when the honorable attorney got up to speak, and he was asked if there was any education component in the ordinance, and he said, that's not exactly truthful. So in that vein, I'm going to address that because I don't like to be called less than truthful. I was also approached at a social function and told virtually the same thing. So let me read to you from your ordinance, from your own site here. The sentence imposed must be consecutive to the sentence for the underlying criminal offense unless the court articulates on the record the reasons why the sentences should run concurrently. Any sentence may be suspended upon completion by the defendant of the appropriate education, counseling, or community service employment as ordered by the court. So yes, there is an education component, and my question was, who gets to decide what that education is? What organization decides that? That's not very clearly defined. And that's a question that your residents need to know. Who's going to be doing the educating on that part? That was my statement then. I said it then, read it from your own words. I'm assuming written by the attorney. And to be called less than truthful is an affront on my character, and I will not stand for it, which is why I came back to speak again one more time. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Hey guys, audience, and I know I let it go with the Citizens Academy here, but let's try to be respectful of the next person that's coming up with our applause and all that, and time. Elizabeth York.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth York, 185 Boxwood Lane here in Spartanburg. I'm a retired professor of music at Converse University. I grew up here in Spartanburg, but when I left in 1968, I did not feel safe here. But Spartanburg never ceases to amaze me. I came back to accept an academic position here at Converse, and Barbara and I were married here when it became legal. And I was happy to hear that the first reading of the hate crimes ordinance received such overwhelming support. It again renewed my faith in the city. Passing this ordinance, in my point of view, continues Mayor Junie White's legacy. When he read a proclamation designating Gay Pride Day at the first Gay Pride March I attended, I knew that my partner and I could make a life here in Spartanburg in relative safety. We have been here close to 20 years and close to my family. I believe that Mayor White would be proud to hear that on its second reading, the vote passed again with your overwhelming support. Thank you in advance for protecting the rights of all Spartanburg citizens.
Thank you. I just asked if we could please refrain from the applause so we can get through this in a timely fashion. Alice Sutton. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council people, for passing the first reading of the hate crimes ordinance last time. And I'm speaking, did I say my address?
Give us your address.
426 East Park Drive, Spartanburg. I'm speaking on behalf of my church, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spartanburg. We endorse this ordinance. We thank you for your support, and we hope at the end of the day we'll be celebrating Spartanburg as the 23rd municipality in South Carolina to have a hate crimes ordinance, and make us all much prouder to be part of this beautiful city. Thank you.
Thank you. Antonio Tanner.
Good evening, members of council. Antonio Tanner, 225 Milligan Street. I imagine one of the reasons people cling to their hate so stubbornly is because they sense once hate is gone, they will be forced to deal with pain. Quotes from Notes of a Native Son by James Baldwin. This evening, we have heard a considerable amount of disinformation, and last week as well, regarding the hate intimidation ordinance, and the community is aware of this because those spreading disinformation focus solely on the words race and ethnicity while neglecting important aspects like national origins, including Americans, Ukrainians, etc., creed, such as Christianity, national origin, including Americans and Ukrainians, again, as just said, sorry. The religion, Baptist, which is Catholic, Jehovah's Witness, and ancestry, which refers to discrimination based on a person's family's background. Importantly, a person can experience ancestry discrimination based when they are also a United States citizen. Additionally, mental and physical disabilities also fall under this discussion, affecting many, including sons, daughters, nieces, nephews, cousins, grandmothers, and grandfathers. With that being said, it is clear and the community recognizes your words. All city residents prior to their employment sign a document that prohibits them from discriminating against anyone based on national origin, race, color, religion, disability, sex, and familial status as mandated by federal law. The city of Spartanburg is implementing the same rules to comply with federal hate crime guidelines, especially when state laws do not offer the same protections. Spartanburg boasts a diversity rate of 90%, which is exceptionally higher than most cities. The West Side is the most diverse, and that concludes my time, y'all, but you know how I feel about this. Thank you.
Thank you, Antonio. Kobe King.
Hi, I'm Colby King, 657 Maple Street here in Spartanburg. I think the thing I want to say tonight is I grew up in a small town in Western Pennsylvania. And I grew up with a real sense that I was going to have to move away from home to find an opportunity that would work for me and a community in which I would be comfortable. I'm a straight white guy. It should not be a problem, but I still encountered slurs when I was a kid, right? I mean, I think most of us remember the 90s, and there's a lot of like anti-homosexual, there's a lot of homophobia, right? I experienced those slurs. I work here, I live here, and I'm raising my daughters here. I don't want them to grow up in a community feeling like they need to leave to be comfortable. That's why I'm so glad and so proud of the city of Spartanburg for working on this ordinance over the past year, for talking with my friends and I in Siren and other community leaders to get this passed. I also very much appreciate the diligence you all have put into considering the ordinance. What I thought was a very educational conversation with Mr. Kohler at the last meeting to help better inform the broader community about what the ordinance is and does. I very much appreciate it. I have 5 other stories I could tell you about it. I could do that one-on-one. Thank you all so much. And thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Amaria Dawkins. Thank you.
Good evening, Council. I'm Amaria Dawkins, 385 Hodge Drive. In agreement with Tony, bringing knowledge to the questions on this hate crimes ordinance, it doesn't silence anyone's belief or speech. It simply holds people accountable when they commit a crime motivated by hate. The First Amendment protects free expression, but it does not protect violence, intimidation, or harassment. Hate crime laws have been upheld for decades as constitutional and essential for public safety. They don't regulate speech or religion. They regulate criminal behavior motivated by hate. The First Amendment safeguards our right to believe and express our faith, but not to engage in violent or threatening conduct in the name of religion. When speech crosses into threats, harassment, intimidation, or violence, it is no longer protected under the First Amendment. Your free speech rights are not being violated by the passing of this ordinance. And to be clear, this ordinance does not create thought police. It does not punish anyone for disagreeing, praying, or preaching their beliefs. It only steps in when hate turns into harm, when someone's biases fuels violence or destruction. That is where free speech ends and criminal accountability begins. Claims that this ordinance targets religion or silences voices are simply false. In fact, it protects people of all faith from being attacked or intimidated because of who they are or what they believe. We cannot continue to use the First Amendment as a shield for hatred or violence. The Constitution was written to protect freedom, not to excuse oppression or terror in our communities. As a Black woman of faith, I stand in full support of this ordinance because protecting our communities from hate-based harm is not only constitutional, it's moral, it's just, and it's necessary. Thank you.
Thank you. Asa. I get them young fellows that reprieve since they're clapping right there in front of me. Asen Barnes. Okay.
Good evening, Hassan Barnes, 470 Hodge Drive. I stand here today not just as an artist, not just as a man who's heavily into fashion, not just as a new resident in Spartanburg, but as a human being who believes fiercely in freedom, the freedom to be, the freedom to live, the freedom to love, and to walk down the street without fear. You see, I grew up in a world where being different could get you laughed at, where holding hands could get you hurt, where loving out loud could get you killed. And I'm here to say that world, that fear, that silence, it has to end. This hate crime ordinance is not just a law, it's a lifestyle. It's a message to the bullied teens who just want to dance in peace. It's protection for the trans women walking home from work. It's justice for everyone that's been targeted simply for daring to be exactly who they are. Let's pass this ordinance, let's protect our people, let's never be afraid to love louder than hate. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kumar.
Hello, I'm Madhav Kumar, and I live at 206 Cart Drive in Spartanburg. Honestly, the people before me have done a really good job, so I'm not going to belabor the point. I would just like to speak in favor of passing the hate crime ordinance. I'd also like to talk about something a little different, which is accessibility in terms of public comments. My partner has a disability that makes it difficult for them to be able to stand for long periods of time and give public comments like this. It would be really, really lovely if there were opportunities for them to be able to make requests for accommodations, or if those exist, to be able to highlight those. I think that, that would give more people the ability to share their opinions, and I truly believe that as our city, we are stronger when everyone gets to be a part of building it. So thank you.
Thank you for that. We hadn't had that opportunity, but yes, thank you. Mark Monahan.
Well, good evening. Yes, my name is Mark Monahan. I live at 150 East Victoria Road here in Spartanburg. Just to tag on to what has been said, I left here at the last time we had the first reading, and I was intrigued by the people who were in opposition to it. And many of them were people of faith, followers of Christ. And as followers of Christ, there's love, but we don't have hate. And then I got home and I was thinking about a conversation I had about 9 years ago online. And this woman was really angry. And as a follower of Christ, I was trying to empathize and understand. But she put me down by finally saying, "You just don't understand how we hate." And it was big, bold cap letters. And that stuck with me all these years. And so when this came up here, I thought, the reason we need a hate crimes law is that Christians, we can't understand how somebody can hate so much as to shoot a bunch of Bible study people in Charleston. You can't imagine the kind of hate it takes to blow up a church in Birmingham, Alabama and kill 3 little girls. You can't imagine the kind of hate it must take to blow up a nightclub in Orlando. And 48 years ago, my own mother got the phone call that her brother had been brutally slaughtered. And she cried. You see your mother cry? You'll never forget it. To see, she could not imagine the kind of hate that took somebody to brutally murder her brother and stab him multiple times, and the coroner could not finish counting the wounds. And then we couldn't imagine the kind of hate that when the man was finally caught 15 years later and sentenced to only 7 years in prison. So, yes, hate exists. And these laws are tools to protect people from hate. We need this law. Spartanburg, South Carolina is a leader. South Carolina needs to change, and we need to join the 21st century. Thank you.
Thank you. Jason Spencer.
Hi, Jason Spencer, 206 Sharon Drive. I'm the chairman of Siren, and on behalf of our board and our team, we just wanted to thank the city for considering this tonight, hopefully passing it on second reading on Indigenous Peoples Day. And to thank Chris and Bob and the city team for getting something in front of you. It's been a long journey, and it's been kind of amazing to hear all the different stories tonight. I've had a few people come up and say they were excited to be here to see history being made. And speaking of history, I wanted to invite you all to our next big event, which is November 7th at Harvest Park, 6 to 9 p.m. It's called From Protest to Policy, 5 Years of Siren. Our guest speaker is named Noble Sissel Jr. His father trained here during World War I and was in a unit that would go on to become known as the Harlem Hellfighters. And Noble's dad was a victim of what we would call a hate crime today. And the effects of that rippled across the world of music, it rippled across the culture of Europe, and it's kind of a cool story. I don't want to give too much away, but Noble Jr. is a great storyteller. Harold Mitchell's going to lead kind of a fireside chat with him. There's not a fire, but we're calling it a fireside chat. And hope you can join us. So we'll have music and food, and look to the next 5 years. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Dr. Midas Hampton.
Midas Hampton, 227 Hillcrest Commons Way. I rise tonight as the chair of the Spartanburg Alphas Foundation and a proud member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, the same fraternity that shaped the conscience of leaders that across history have championed progress. And I also stand here as a resident, an everyday person trying to live life, a man who believes in the responsibility that we all share for one another. Now, the research, we've looked at it, and it's very, very clear. Hate crimes don't just harm individuals. They harm entire communities. They send a signal that belonging can be revoked, that difference can be punished, that fear has the final word. And we know from the science and from life that fear changes the brain at a molecular level, at a chemistry level. It narrows empathy. It raises our guard. It makes being a neighbor really hard to do. But when people feel safe, when they feel seen, the brain opens up. Trust grows, collaboration flourishes, communities thrive. And that's what the ordinance is about. It's not about the politics, and I know everybody tries to make it about those things all the time, but it's about protection. It's not about punishing anybody, right? It is about prevention. It's about saying in Spartanburg, we will not wait for anyone, the state, to find its conscience. We will lead with ours. South Carolina is one of the only 2 states where we've heard that. Here tonight, we have an opportunity and the power to say, not in our city, not in our time, not on our watch. So I urge you, as a brother, as a neighbor, as a citizen, to pass the hate crimes ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hampton. Liv Hopkins. I'm thinking about Dr. Hopkins. Liv Hawkins III.
Yes. Hello, y'all. My name is Liv Hawkins III. I live on 501 Howard Street in the city's 6th City Council District. I'd like to, first of all, speak to you about the hate crimes ordinance and once again say that I'm in favor of it. As a queer professional working with students, as someone who not that long ago was a queer student, what I've heard a lot from people I went to high school with, from people I went to college with, was that they don't feel like Spartanburg is a place that they can call home. You know, I think it leads to a lot of brain drain to have this kind of thing where students don't feel protected, people don't feel protected, and I think I'm very excited to see this pass. I also want to piggyback off of what Colby said, because I already planned to say it, but like Mr. Kohler did an awesome job articulating and pushing back against a lot of the misinfo and disinfo that we heard last meeting, and I thought it was a very productive meeting. I'd also like to talk to you about accessibility of public comment, and not just asking for accommodations, but maybe prompting staff and council to think about ways, especially as we move into a new space, and maybe we can rethink what public comment looks like, how we can make it accessible by design so that our disabled and chronically ill neighbors can participate at the same level that I can participate as an able-bodied guy. You know, not just so, you know, sometimes there can be a barrier if you have to ask for an accommodation versus just right off the bat having that accommodation built in very meaningfully. So those are the 2 things I'd like to talk about. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. James A. Jones.
James A. Jones, 582 West Main Street, attorney, School District 7 board member, member of Siren Board, and supporters of Save the Clock Tower. Mr. Mayor, members of council, when government stops listening, democracy starts dying. Local government must listen to the people because our community knows what it needs. Real leadership starts with open ears and humble hearts. Mothers, fathers, children who cry out for change in the face of epidemic gun violence for years demanded change, but they've mostly gotten silence. Please hear their cry. Siren and proponents of the hate crimes ordinance, hear them and please pass this ordinance as a down payment on justice. Save Our Clock Towers proponents had to get an attorney and a judge to get you to listen to us, but we now ask you to listen to the voices of the 3,000 plus who want the tower to be replaced and removed to a place of our choosing together. Please hear them. And as you will note tonight about Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Day, hear the plea of those both living and those who now have joined the ancestors that health care in Spartanburg must be strengthened. We can't have so many more dying mothers trying to give birth to a child. When we listen, we build trust. When we act, we build hope. And when we do both, we build a beloved Spartanburg community. Thank you.
Thank you. Carl Prespatino.
Thank you. I live at 240 Mills Avenue. The reason I'm here is to complain about a city contractor that cuts the grass on the median that is on Mills. Mills is directly down from the entrance to Converse College. I live 3 blocks from there. I've noticed in the last 2 weeks, the same contractor on riding lawnmower goes very fast and he runs over the median The grass doesn't need to be cut. It's the wintertime. And he merely just cuts up the leaves and blows them onto the median, but also onto the street. And the problem with that is, years past, is that the accumulation of grass or leaf cuts, the leaves on the median, kills the grass. The grass doesn't get moisture from rain. And the ground becomes very hard. And so this winter, I said, I'm going to do something about it. So 2 months ago, I planted plants and flowers directly in front of my house on the median, about 20 yards. Put down sod, and in between the breaks in the sod, put flowers and plants. And this guy, over the last 2 weeks, hauls ass over the sod. He cuts it. It doesn't need to be cut. And he crunches up the leaves, which I blow off and break off on my own. But he does it before I can get to it on that whatever day he shows up. And he also causes leaves to go to the curb. The bottom line is this. I'd like for you to tell this contractor, leave the medians alone and let the wind blow the leaves to the curbs, which it will, or in the case some of us residents will blow it. And the city, I noticed this morning, has a really cool truck that sucks up those leaves beside the curb.
Right. That's going to be your time, Mr. President. Thank you, man. We got the message.
Okay.
Emily Gomez. Ms. Gomez.
Hi, my name is Emily Gomez. I'm a USC Upstate student. First, thank you for giving me a chance. My address is 126 Could Drive. As someone who lives, studies, and spends a lot of time in Spartanburg, I notice a lot of important issues within our city, especially when it comes to public safety, the condition of the public buildings, and public transportation. For many students like me, and for a lot of residents, public transportation is a lifeline. Not everyone has access to a car and reliable buses and transit routes. I think they are essential not just to get to school, but to work and then to community events. It's not just about convenience, it's about making sure that everyone has a chance to fully participate in what Spartanburg has to offer. When public transportation is dependable, safe, and far-reaching, it helps to connect the parts of our city. Also, many buildings in our facilities are aging and showing signs of wear. This worn appearance not only affects our community, but it also feels that the places that we rely on every day are empty. Also, I hope that there's repairs and upgrades because we need to ensure these buildings meet some standards that can continue serving residents effectively. I believe the city council plays an important role in these because the decisions that you guys make to these projects shape how Spartanburg will grow within the years of the future. This topic is important to me because I care about my community and it makes Spartanburg a place where we're proud to call home. As a student, I want to see the city where everyone has equal access to good public services, where the bus system lets people connect easily, and where the infrastructure supports a thriving, healthy community. Thank you for your time and your dedication to make Spartanburg a better place for all of us.
Thank you. Mike Fowler.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. First of all, congratulations to the Academy. I am one of the original members of the Academy. I'm a proud member, so thank you. I didn't get a green shirt, but okay. But I'm one of the, under Director Tony Fisher. I'm very proud to be a Academy graduate. Mike Fowler, 275 South Church Street. Don't start yet. We're here to answer the call, Mr. Mayor and Council. We've talked about, first of all, it's my business partner, Patton. For over a year and a half now, we've been working on to bring a project to bring a food market back to Southside, back to the community. And we are 90% there now. So we need the community. We're bringing in, it's called the South Church Street Bodega. And it's located right here in Scholar Building, across from Tom's Inside. We have a space there, 28 by 48 space. and we will have fresh produce from 20 local farmers. 24. We have a juice bar, sandwich station. Of course, we have your food, dairy, bread, and all the supplies that we purchase. So we're looking for you guys to come out and support it. The mayor, we have overwhelming support from the community and several other organizations, and we're looking for you guys to get on board. Let's make this happen. First of the year, we have a new store on our south side where it serves the entire community, not just the south side. So thank you very much, and thanks for your time. And again, congratulations to each one of you guys. Y'all rock.
Thank you. All right, we have item 7, proclamation recognizing October the 15th, 2025 as Pregnancy and Infants Loss Awareness Day. We have two, yeah, come on down. Yes. Whereas pregnancy and the arrival of new babies should be a time of joy and celebration for families. And whereas many families in Spartanburg across the nation unfortunately face the heart-wrenching experience of pregnancy and infant loss, which affect parents, siblings, grandparents, and the community. Whereas recognizing the need for support, compassion, and awareness surrounding pregnancy and infant loss, the month of October has been designated as Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. Whereas October the 15th of each year, a day of remembrance known as Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day, is observed with a wave of lights where candles are lit at 7 o'clock p.m. in all time zones across the world, uniting grieving families and friends in the powerful symbolic show of support and remembrance. Whereas the city of Spartanburg wishes to honor and remember the babies who have left this world too soon and to express solidarity with the families who have experienced such loss. Now, therefore, I, Jerome Rice Jr., by the virtue and authority vested in me as the mayor of the city of Spartanburg, and on behalf of my fellow city council members, do hereby proclaim October the 15th, 2025 as Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Day. Now, stay with me. In the city of Spartanburg, and encouraging all residents to participate in the Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day by lighting a candle, 7 o'clock p.m., remembering those precious lives lost and offering support and compassion to the families affected by pregnancy and infant loss. Again, 7 o'clock p.m., all citizens of the city of Spartanburg will light a candle. We're asking everyone in this room, 7 o'clock on the 15th, 7 o'clock p.m., we all should light a candle in remembrance of those lost places. So, ladies, thank you for being here. Thank you for putting this in the forefront of Spartanburg again. Listening, have candle. Item 8, to amend the Chapter 22 offenses and miscellaneous provision of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Spartanburg to add a new section providing that a person who violates another section of the city's Code of Ordinance with the intent to harm, injure, or intimidate another person or persons in whole or in part because of ethnicity, race, color, creed, national origin, religion, ancestry, sexual orientation, gender identity, or physical or mental disability of the victim is guilty of a separate offense of hate crime intimidation. Second reading. Mr. Robert Kohler, City Attorney.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Before you is second reading of the ordinance. I'm here to answer any questions that you might have. But before I do want to make one recommendation from staff.
Sorry. They want to hear it.
Yeah, I understand. How's that?
Let's get the doors closed too. Good. Now we're good. Thank you, Bob.
So, before I answer any questions, we are making one recommendation from staff. We're recommending that the council consider striking the last sentence. That's the sentence that says that any fine or jail time may be suspended by the court upon completion of community service, counseling, education, and the like. I was, after the meeting a couple weeks ago, had a great conversation with our city judge, and she reminded me that she doesn't need an ordinance to give her the authority to suspend fine or jail time upon community service, counseling, good behavior, and the like. She does that all the time, with or without that language in the ordinance. And it's my fault. I presume that a lot of folks understood that, but they simply don't. So that conversation led me to some more contemplation. And, you know, when I read the 23 other ordinances that have been passed by cities and counties across the state, it never occurred to, and about half of them use the language that says the court has the authority to suspend jail time or suspend the fine upon community service, counseling, and the like. It didn't occur to me that some people would interpret that as, you know, a government-run education class or a government-run program that would offer ideas of its own to the participants, but they do. Again, so you know, we listen and we hear people and we contemplate and we think about the changes that can be made. And after hearing from some of you and then conferring with all of you, it's my recommendation that we simply strike that language. I'll remind you what the judge reminded me. That language does nothing to add any authority to or subtract any authority from the court. She always has that authority to suspend a sentence with an alternative that she deems is appropriate, and again, does that all the time. So if we've got a potential language that causes a potential misunderstanding or potential confusion, and it does nothing, it seems to me that the best thing to do is simply take that out. So to be clear, if without that language, the sentence for violating the hate crime ordinance would be, if you're convicted of that because you committed another underlying offense and got charged with the hate crime ordinance, you would be punished up to 30 days in jail and up to $500 and or any combination that the court deems appropriate. So that's what I'm recommending y'all do tonight with second reading. I'm glad to answer any questions about that or address any concerns.
Councilwoman, Mayor Pro Tem, I'm sorry.
But Bob, just so we're clear, this is not, it's not the city that decides what that punishment may be. The judge has full authority to decide what those consequences with an additional hate crime charge would be. We aren't, there's no list of programs that they have to participate in, et cetera. That is fully up to the judge.
Yeah, first of all, so this ordinance won't include that language anymore. This ordinance will simply say it's punishable by up to 30 days in jail and up to $500 and or any combination thereof. Courts across this state are vested with the authority to suspend that upon the completion of alternative sentences, and they do that routinely. That is always in the discretion of the court, and I will tell you that it is always voluntary. If a court tells somebody they've been convicted of public intoxication and instead of 30 days in jail, they have to go attend a Mothers Against Drunk Driving class, they can choose to do that and get their fine suspended. They can also choose to not do it and pay the fine. It's voluntary. Courts don't make people engage in alternative resolutions. They offer it as an option. So yes, the court will have no involvement in dictating or directing any counseling, education, community service. The court will fine or punish by jail. And if the court deems fit, as the case happens all across the state all the time, it could fashion an alternative sentence if it deemed that would appropriate.
Okay. Councilwoman Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to confirm, we've had folks that have been very invested in this process. striking that sentence does nothing to change the substance of what we're seeking here. To quote one of our speakers, it doesn't change anything on the prevention, the protection, or the punishment side.
Correct. Section A of the ordinance defines the offense, and that does not change. If you commit, if your actions satisfy the elements of Section A, you are guilty of that ordinance, and you will be punished per sentence B. And Section B says you will get up to $500 in fines. You will get up to 30 days, and/or any combination thereof.
Bob, I understand your point about the latitude the judge would have, but wouldn't there be, I mean, wouldn't the principle of legislative intent apply here as well? I mean, you know, the judge would look at, you know, the council action and not see that as a remedy, and may be more, you know, willing to not include that as a remedy, given that was the intent of council.
Yeah, I think courts oftentimes engage in that analysis. But again, remember, them being one of the three branches of government as a check on legislation, I think they ought to do that. So yes, I think you're exactly right.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the fact that this is the penalty for this would be $500. You know, I think that striking that and making it more limited in scope makes it more enforceable and may have more meaning if and when we incur instances where this would apply.
It's entirely possible.
Any other comments, questions? Do I hear a motion?
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Mayor, that we adopt the hate crimes ordinance.
Do I hear a second? Okay, I figured it would be a fight over the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep going. You got about 10 seconds, 10 more seconds, and then we cut it off. No, you were good. We're going to let you go with that one. Item B of 8. Ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a development agreement by and between the city of Spartanburg, South Carolina, and 111 Main Street, LLC, with respect to the certain economic development projects on the property within the city, whereby such property will receive certain development incentives and other matters related thereunto. First reading, Mr. Chris Story, City Manager.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, this is a good day in regard to a project that has been on our radar screen for some time, but as I'll share over the next few minutes, had some design and other challenges to overcome that we've been working through to get to this point. This is an $18 million investment that will contain 13,000 square feet of commercial space, restaurant and retail space, that is, and 26 apartments. It involves some new construction and the adaptive reuse of property that would be eligible for special assessment for rehab historic property. It's strategically significant to us in that it is in those critical blocks between Church and Street on Main Street, between Church and Denny's Plaza, which we think is an area that is significant strategically for the downtown. And importantly, the developers have secured a letter of intent from a very desirable regionally known specialty retailer, which would be a real shot in the arm for the downtown retailing and shopping offerings in the community. And so we're excited about that. It's a project put together by John Balknight and Andrew Babb, two local residents with experience in downtown development projects that have successfully executed several projects and been associated with lots of positive activity in our downtown. What's proposed tonight is an agreement that would enable the investment, deal with a couple of matters related to its siting, and involves a ramp-up schedule of fees in lieu of taxes that begin at $36,500 in year one, ramping up to $193,400 in the 20th and final year of the agreement. And I'll show you some images and and address a couple of questions here. This is 109 and 111 East Main are the two addresses that are together part of one project. They, as I mentioned, it's part historic restoration and part new construction. You see the two structures there in this rendering. There are four, at least in my mind, the architects and developers may characterize it differently. There are four reasons why this project was tricky from a design standpoint. The first is the fact that this block of these two blocks of East Main that sit between Church and Denny's Plaza are long. It's a very deep block between Main and Broad. And that creates a condition in which getting use of the middle section of a very long, skinny development project is tough, right? You got to get natural light in, you got to get other challenges that come with the shape of these long blocks. A second design challenge that I think they've artfully and successfully worked through is mixing in the restaurant and retail space with the residential space and making high quality residential units that can work well with retail space and commercial space there. And then, of course, mixing in new construction and historic restoration, which is not an easy thing to do. Somehow I lost the pretty pictures. See what okay. It'll take just a moment, but I do want to show you the rest of that. And then the fourth challenge that they worked through on this site is, as a long block zero lot line, there are challenges for electrical infrastructure. So the development agreement involves the best case remedy for that. So we're pleased that all those ingredients could come together in a way that we think is a very attractive project that, again, particularly because of its inclusion of noteworthy addition to our retail landscape in downtown, will be a real shot in the arm for this section of downtown. So our recommendation tonight is for you to take first reading to the development agreement, which is the current agenda item we're on, and also the same project is the subject matter of item 9A, which immediately follows this item, which is a resolution authorizing pursuit of State Abandoned Buildings Revitalization Act credits. So I will not filibuster longer while for the images to come up. I'll just ask Christopher if you think we're heading towards being able to show images. Don't know. Okay. All right. So if you, I think the full battery of images was in your packet, but it's always good to show them publicly as well. But certainly welcome any questions from the council about the project.
Councilwoman Littlejohn.
Yes, Chris, for clarity, now that's right there, where the Carolina Cash building used to be. Is that the location where this is, where you're talking about?
Well, this is, so if you were walking from Morgan Square toward Denny's Plaza, you'd pass the Lime Leaf restaurant. And
it's on that side of me. Okay.
So it's sort of next door to Lime Leaf.
Okay, I know where you are now.
Those next two addresses are 109 and 111. So one of them, and these have been underutilized for quite some time, and hence they're eligible for the abandoned buildings revitalization credits, and also important for generating additional activity.
Okay, but it's still on that side of the street.
Yes, ma'am, on the south side of Main Street between Main and Broad.
Okay.
It's between the Freight Yard and Lime Leaf.
Between Freight Yard and Lime Leaf, that's the best way to say it. And it will have entrances on both Broad and Main. So.
Thanks.
Chris?
Yes, you got Councilwoman Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Chris, thank you. this is a unique project for several reasons. Unique locations, the first thing that we've had that might actually come to fruition on West Main. Unique realtor, which we're excited about, and the unique challenges with the utilities and the spacing. But it's also unique in that it's the first development agreement that we have considered that does not have an affordable or workforce housing component to it. For the last 5 years at least, or the whole time I've been on council at least, anytime that we've done a tax abatement, a FILO, we've required that there be a 10% affordable component. This is a much smaller project, 26 units compared to the 200 plus that we've done. So I understand that it's much more difficult to make the numbers work. Affordable housing is important, I think, to all of us up here and making sure that that can happen. And I've been trying to think all day about how to get comfortable with moving forward on both this project and on the affordable piece. And I don't think it's a zero-sum game necessarily. And I know that we've had all of our folks that we work with to run the numbers and to see that that's not going to work for this particular project. But a thought that I had that I'm proposing, I guess, to you and to my colleagues maybe, you went over the FILO schedule that ramps up over 20 years. Is it possible to take, and I'm asking you, I guess, to come back maybe with a particular percentage, but is it possible to take 0.5% of the fees that we would receive over 10 years, over 20 years, to put into our affordable housing trust? That way, on projects that aren't able to make the numbers work to have the affordable units, we are still investing in affordable housing in the city overall. Is that something that how would that look with the county and what they would need to approve? Is there a possibility that just we could move forward with that? Just curious to your thoughts.
Sure. And that is an interesting idea. And in the biggest sense, that's consistent with what we're trying to do with growing our downtown and making our downtown more, continue to be a more robust economy, more jobs, more opportunity, and that type of thing. It's not simply just to grow the tax base. It's to create the long-term effects that come with more jobs, more opportunities, more employment, that type of thing, and to provide needed housing at all price points. But as you mentioned, that this with 26 units and with the internal courtyard structure and the unique design, it really doesn't lend itself very well to that. But absolutely a portion of the revenue that it creates could be, by city council authority alone, redirected into affordable housing investments. And that same option exists with any of the new projects that come forward for consideration economic development projects. So I think we can work with the team and come back and share some specific thoughts of what that might look like. That is a clever strategy for dealing with. Not every project lends itself to the kind of workforce housing integration that we've been able to get on several others that were larger in scale.
Councilwoman Sally.
Well, actually, Councilwoman Megan has already stole my thunder.
Okay. Well, at least two of us were thinking in that same vein. Councilman Smith.
So, Chris, thank you. I understand the unique characteristics of this project. I mean, it's part historic preservation. It's part new build. It's, in cap in that block with accessibility issues and all the things. And so, I think that's an interesting idea. I mean, I kind of think we ought to separate that from our discussion about this specific project, right, so that we can move forward. And I understand the challenges of the economics of this, given all of those things. And I'm just pleased that the conditions have improved to the point that we can move forward with this. I know the developers have long wanted to, and as you point out, have been faced with a number of different challenges, but there was never any doubt that they intended to do this and deliver on their promises. And so I think this is really exciting for Spartanburg for a number of different reasons. But as you also pointed out, that portion of our downtown, could use something like this to help further ignite its growth. And so when you add that piece as a conduit between Morgan Square and what's happening with Project Core all the way down to the Green District, this inches us closer and closer to the Denny's Plaza. And I think that's exciting and helps, kind of eliminate some of the dead gaps that we have in downtown. So I'm excited about this and appreciate the developers investing their capital and moving forward with this project.
Definitely excited about the opportunities, to cross over to Church Street onto that side as well.
And I just, I only have one more thing for Chris. I know you include this because I'm always interested in it, but year one, this is a $37,000 contributor to our tax base, far in excess of probably what the properties generate currently. And then by year 20, I mean, we're talking about, a real revenue contributor. And so, I think, we should never lose an opportunity to point to those types of projects and understand. I mean, they had a complicated financing structure with the Bailey credits or Bailey bill, and then historic abandoned credits and things like that. And so, getting to the point where we can also now see them contribute early on is really exciting. I think it underscores why we do these abatements and why they're important to stimulate growth. And when you look at this compared to what's there currently, I think we would all agree that those abatements are well worth it. Pay dividends for generations to come.
Absolutely, and when these assets come online, in addition to the retail and restaurant space, the additional residents, all of that has a positive feedback loop of more spending, more activity that benefits the adjacent businesses. Christopher got the slides back, so why don't I show you 4 images, Mr. Mayor?
Go ahead and get this question from the Mayor Pro Tem.
Just no question. I just I agree with Jamie in that, we've talked to some of the downtown business owners, those that are on this east end of Maine, and that's really important, is the foot traffic and increasing that foot traffic. So I really think a project like this is going to stimulate some of the development going east. I understand that this project has taken a while to get here, and I understand, your thoughts on that as well. But given there has been no activity since the announcement of the previous development that sort of fell through the cracks, I think this is a good way to hopefully get something going in that direction, because I know that's a concern a lot of business owners have talked about, is that just being completely vacant, nothing occurring from the previous agreement that we had. So I'm really hopeful, and I'm super excited about this project and what it will bring.
And this development will make development of that existing property far more likely sooner rather than later.
Right. I believe so. Just want to point out a couple of things about the design. You see the new construction elements that are behind the former facade or the restored facade of 109. And then if you notice to the right of that, how you can see the balconies from some of the residential units overlooking a courtyard, an internal courtyard. That's part of dealing with the challenge there. That's a floor plan that just gets you that. But that's another look at how the creativity of dealing with some of these long buildings to get natural light into the apartment units and light into the spaces there. I just think they did a real good job dealing with that challenge. This aerial view down into that open courtyard and how it benefits the commercial space and the residential space is a nice touch, and maybe will help us as a model for some other projects. So I just wanted to share those. Okay, I'm done, Mr. Mayor.
Chris, I just want to get clear on my question. I understand that what I'm proposing really has nothing to do with the developer. That's just us allocating a portion that we were already going to receive.
Correct.
If that is something that is the will of council, and I've not talked to any of my colleagues about that, so I apologize for springing this on them. But is that something that needs to be inked in this agreement, or that is something that we decide on our own?
I think it can be a separate council decision, and it could come, soon, or it could actually come as part of the budget process in the spring. Either of those would be certainly fine from a legal perspective.
Okay. Well, I am in favor of this, and I will be advocating hard for that, to allocate funds for our trust for projects that are not able to allocate units. And one other question, since everyone loves good news and gossip, what will it take and when can they reveal the name of the retailer?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I know that I know it's not tonight, but I don't know
Okay.
when the.
Well, stay
Let your
tuned.
imagination run wild.
Stay tuned for good news.
Stay tuned.
It is a retailer we've had on our radar as a great fit for downtown Spartanburg.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the ordinance as drafted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that opposed? Ayes have it, unanimous. Thank you. We're, 9, resolution certifying 5 units as an abandoned building site pursuant to the South Carolina Abandoned Building Revitalization Act, Title 12, Chapter 67, Section 12-67-0. Presenter, Mr. Chris Story again.
No new information. This is another component that's referenced in that development agreement. This is because it's existing structure that's been underutilized. It's eligible for some credits against some state taxes, and they simply require a local government to bless it before the application can go.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that opposed? Ayes have it. Everybody. 9 again. So we have 9B, resolution authorizing city manager to execute the settlement agreement related to the clock tower. Presenter, Mr. Kohler.
Good evening again, Mayor and council members. The resolution before you is requesting your permission to authorize the city manager to execute a settlement agreement that was reached with the plaintiffs in the clock tower suit on last week. I'll tell you just briefly, we had an extended hearing on Monday morning, and then we engaged in about a day and a half of mediation with the plaintiffs. They were represented by an able and talented lawyer. The judge was involved in those mediations, and we had myself and several of our team members in the room. And this settlement agreement reflects the will of both parties who left that mediation, and both were in agreement with it. So I recommend that you authorize the city manager to execute the settlement agreement. And that will resolve the lawsuit. It'll result in a dismissal of the lawsuit.
And Bob, the mediation was strongly encouraged by the judge, correct?
He was kind enough to actually participate, and he was deeply involved in those conversations. And again, I think every party was well represented and their wishes were heard. And this settlement agreement reflects all parties' agreement when we left that room.
But the agreement does not determine location of where the clock tower would be relocated to.
That's correct. That it retains in your discretion to make those decisions down the road after thoughtful and thorough study under which you deem the appropriate conditions.
I'd also encourage public participation in those discussions.
I was going to suggest the same thing, a committee or something put together.
I don't know about a committee.
No.
But we have an
know.
existing committee for the Morgan Square.
For Morgan Square, we do, but we know the land that we own, because that's where we would want it to go, so we don't, a future council doesn't find themselves in these situations again. I think we can task council to come back with a preliminary report on what all of our options are and start there. But I think in order to show our good faith, we want to move on this fairly quickly. And the land we own is the land we own, so we can at least start there.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think we need to move. I mean, we're the committee.
Yes.
And in my mind, and hopefully staff can start moving quickly on 2.0 or 3.0, I guess, as it is in this case. And Mr. Mayor, let me, I told somebody last week, I think the approach was messy, but the landing was smooth. And so I'm glad we were able to get to this point in time. And I'm just really excited about the future of the clock tower going forward and its new location, which I think will be prominently displayed, and I think people will be proud of it, as proud of it as they are now, and as proud of it as they have been. But then also we can turn to the positive aspects of Project Core again. The jobs, the new hotels, the new office buildings, the new activity in our downtown central business district, and all that it means. And it's appropriate that we turn our eye toward that, particularly on a night like tonight when we've just talked about another great economic development catalyst project that will join the new planetarium that opens this week and or learning center, I think, as they call it, and the new city county complex in the next 3 to 5 years. So, I think we now can get back to focusing on the momentum that we have as a community and build excitement around that, because it really is something special. So I'm excited we're at this point.
Thank you for those.
And I make a motion.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I make a motion we approve the settlement agreement.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose? Ayes have it. Great job. Thank you.
Just rolling through.
Other business, we're at award the bid for the HVAC replacement at C.C. Woodson Recreation Center. Presenter, Mr. Tony McAbee.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We will continue with this project as from last year with CC. We continue sustainability and sustaining our facilities. CC opened 2010, and so with it being 2025, most HVA systems are in your 15-year range. So these are the big units that are on top of the facility. So we had 6 companies to attend the pre-bid meeting. There were no MWBEs who bidded on it. There were only 2 bids who came in to bid on this. There was LPB of South Carolina and Bill Kirkland. And so we bring this to you tonight. LPB of South Carolina was the low bid, and both of these contractors have done extensive work for us in the city. And this is just a continuation of doing it. You just don't want to replace everything at one time and everything go out. So a portion of it was done last year. We kind of staging it. We got a couple more units. We'll probably might not have to see you next year because hopefully that number, but if we do, we'll come see you. But we should be finished with C.C. Woodson in about another year.
And do they come with any kind of warranty? Warranty?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we put that is in the packet that they have to supply the warranty. And really, you wouldn't believe it, the big cost in this is when the contractor has to have a crane. So we don't own a crane at the city, but they have to tie in a crane. There's a big expense in that.
Okay.
But we're doing our due diligence. We're your building maintenance staff, and we bring it to you.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I make a motion that we accept the award for the bid for the HVAC replacement. I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose?
Thank you.
Ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. McAbee. What was your time in the Josh Lee 5K? I knew you knew right out the bat. All right, where are we? Selection of vendor for services provided annual on-site firefighters. Mr. Starks, Assistant Fire Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for allowing me to come before you this evening. We are requesting approval for award for our annual firefighter physicals under a 3-year contract to be awarded to LifeScan Wellness Centers out of Florida. They were the effective low bidder based on specifications of the bid package that we put out publicly.
Was anything different that we're going with the life scan?
No, they're the ones that not only were the effective low bidder, but they were the ones that met every component of the specifications for our firefighter physicals, because they are very specific and they have to come on site.
Okay.
And Chief Stark, that's who we use currently.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct?
Yes.
And the ultrasound of the organs, all of that is
It's part
going
of
to
it.
be the
Yes, ma'am.
same. Nothing's changing. We're just essentially renewing the bid.
That's correct, yes.
I know that those have saved some of our firefighters' lives and finding cancer when might not have otherwise. So I'm really glad that we can offer that service
Yes.
to our team.
We've had findings every year since we've moved to LifeScan versus previous vendors.
Yeah.
That's great.
Good.
Well, I make a motion that we accept the bid that's been presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose? Ayes have it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Staff update.
Mr. Mayor, I have 4 items I'd like to cover, and then I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. First is some good news to follow along with tonight's prior discussion related to affordable housing and making sure that we have a mix of incomes in our housing stock, and particularly downtown. As you recall, we as part of an agreement with a developer involving what is now a grass lawn on the southeastern edge of the Kennedy Street parking garage. So at the corner of Kennedy Street and Converse Street, we have now competed 3 times for low-income housing tax credits for approximately 50 units that would sort of be connected to the garage there and built out to on the corner of that garage. And I can finally say that the project has won, and through the rigorous South Carolina housing finance process. So that project is now a go. It'll be moving into the next phase of work. It's significant to us from a staff level in that it brings additional affordable housing to the downtown in a location that is complementary to other objectives, and it's right here in the heart of downtown, and we think it'll be an attractive, high-quality project, so we're
Chris,
excited
what
about
other
that.
projects in the city have we won that or been awarded that grant?
Well, over the years, we've had different projects win LIHTC credits a number of times. There are 2 pipelines, 2 baskets of LIHTC credits to compete for. One is senior specific, and the other is a more general population. This one in the more general population, the last win we had prior to that was on the north side for some senior housing.
That's the Ellington?
The Ellington one. Yeah, the one that's under construction now, which I'm blanking on the name, but where on Fremont Street.
Where the dialysis center is.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. But those are both senior LIHTC developments, and so this is our first win in a while in the non-senior category. But I'm excited to. It'll of course be back in front of you as it takes its next step, but that's the real gate that it is cleared. Second update is related to our additional efforts and accommodations to ensure that the surface parking coming offline in different parts to enable some of our downtown construction projects is minimally disruptive to our businesses. We've got a week under our belts of the valet service, and it's going well. Sort of a shuttle service will launch in coming days that will involve helping folks get around the core of our downtown conveniently in a golf cart style, not a golf cart per se, but that style of vehicle. So those two supports are up and running, and so far so good in this transition away from dependence on surface parking to move towards full utilization of our 3,000 plus parking garage spaces. And then the fourth activity I wanted to comment on, and Councilman Fulmer already touched on it. I've had the opportunity to tour the planetarium, as I know some of you all have. And the public opening for that is this Friday. And I just wanted to encourage anyone present tonight and those who may be watching online. I wish they could feel the excitement I feel about that project. That is just about the coolest thing we could be adding to our downtown right now in so many ways. The Spartanburg County Library System is as good as there is in the country, and to be only the second library system in the country to have a facility like this that is truly fully public is just an awesome day for our downtown, and I just wanted to express on behalf of the city staff team our appreciation to Todd Stevens and his team and all of the folks that have been involved in bringing that really world-class destination to the community. And so folks need to check it out Friday. It is awesome, and it will generate a whole lot of additional positive activity for not just young people, for any lifelong learner and creative individual in our community can find something positive there. And I'm just, I feel like it's Christmas come early with that project. So if y'all have any additional questions, I'd be happy to try to answer.
We're trying to get out.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. All right. Now we have council updates.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Not an update, but a few comments from me. I've been thinking a lot about what to say tonight. I've been very troubled and very bothered this last month with the different conversations that we've had or that have been happening in this room, and more importantly, the way that those conversations have translated online. And someone said tonight that hate is just masked pain. And I try to be empathetic, as someone already also shared tonight, and see those comments for individual folks. And I've learned a lot, and I've thought a lot about our social fabric. That's a phrase that we use and talk about at my job a lot. And I have felt that social fabric pulling nationally for a while now, but locally in a way that I haven't in a ever really before. And there's a quote that I wanted to read from John Dewey. Some of y'all who are old enough might remember the Dewey Decimal System and going to find him at the library. But he's the father of modern education. But this, I think, sums up what we are trying to accomplish up here, and what I think is going to be harder, that we're going to have to fight harder and harder to preserve. But it says, a society is a number of people held together because they are working along common lines, in a common spirit, and with reference to common aims. The common needs and aims demand a growing interchange of thought and growing unity of sympathetic feeling. And I grieve that we've entered an era where to disagree with someone means that they're evil, that they need to be tarred and feathered out of town, as many people have said about us this past month, that we need to be eliminated. But I can disagree with all of these people up here and trust that we are all working toward a common aim and a common good, and that we all want what is best for Spartanburg. We have different ways of getting there. We hear so much that Spartanburg is different, that there's something that's different about our community, and I believe that that is true, but that is not inherent. That is something that we are going to have to continue to re-earn and relearn and continue to fight for. And so whatever comes next that we disagree on, that we have 40 people come and speak for and be passionate about, which we want, and we champion people caring about their community. But I hope that we can continue to remember again, that a difference in opinion does not make the other person less than, but that we can still hold a common aim and a common good. And I'm proud of us and what we continue to protect and work for. And I just feel all the more that it's all the more important to repledge that as a council and to keep that sense of civility and decorum and unity and sympathetic feeling toward each other. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Councilwoman Littlejohn.
Yes, but first let me comment on Councilmember Smith's comments. I am glad that we work well together, but we just beat each other up in the back and come out smiling. I am so proud of the council members that I work with, because we get along very well. I have a few things here that I want to bring up. I wanted to congratulate Mike Fowler on his the thing that he has going, and I tried to find that. I told him that I would be there Friday, and I was all over that place and trying to find it, and I asked the neighbors next door, and they didn't know where he was. So I've got to go back again and try to find his location, because I promised him that I would be there, and I was not. And I want to congratulate all of the graduates, although they are not here to hear me now. And I want to congratulate Councilmember Smith on your recognition that you got on the Neville, that long list of recognition that you got. I congratulate you on that. And you are worthy of it. I really admire you, because you know all that you accomplish. I also want to congratulate Laura Ringo on her 20 years at Powell. She is a hard worker too. I attended Spartan High's school board on the 6th, and I'm not going to comment on that. Okay, I won't comment on that. And then I want to remind you all that early voting starts October the 20th, and I encourage you to please go out and vote. I know that there are so many people that say that they vote, but there are records showing, that whether you voted or not, you don't know who you voted for, but you know whether you voted. So I encourage people to please, please go out and vote in this election. We have someone here that is running, so I don't know if you can qualify to vote in her district, but please go out and vote. Okay, and the planetarium, because you've already mentioned that. And the last thing that I want to say is that Because something that has really, really bothered me, and I see all of the people that show up to speak for different things, and I admire you all for coming out to speak because it means a lot. God, when you see people that are passionate about things that they believe in, that they are coming out to speak about it. But the thing that concerns me, and it continues to bother me, is for a baby to get killed in its bed at 3 a.m. and nobody says anything. It's like everybody is quiet about this. I don't know what is going on, but if we can live with something like that and nobody say anything, there is something wrong with our society. And I am deeply troubled by it. I am deeply, deeply troubled by that. Thank you.
Thank you for that, really. We appreciate it. Councilwoman Sally.
Thank you all for coming out tonight.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, just a couple of quick things. I mentioned the planetarium, and I hope everybody comes out on Friday. That's really exciting. Also, I had the privilege of representing council today at the ribbon cutting for the newest restaurant in downtown Pizza, on Magnolia Street. I didn't get a chance to try it, but it looks fabulous, and I encourage everybody to go. It's a great new space. They did a good job of renovating that, and you know, we talk about a lot of things related to, you know, Morgan Square and everything around Project Core, but if you haven't been to Magnolia Street lately, you need to go down there. New restaurants are popping up, new retail's popping up along there. It's a happening spot, and is an indication of more of what's to come for our downtown in the next several years, and it's extremely exciting.
Good. Mayor Pro Tem.
Mr. Mayor, congratulations, Megan. Excited for this new, can you say what the name of the board is?
It's a statewide fellowship. There's 18 of us called the Hunt Fellows. Those of us that are elected at the local level to talk about education in a bipartisan manner. So we had our first time talking about early childhood education, then we'll talk about K-12 and then post-secondary. Well, we're excited that you'll be representing us. I'm excited about the planetarium, sad to miss the opening. We will be out of town. We leave Friday morning, so I will miss the mayor's walk. Had the opportunity to attend my, we won't say what number, but Wofford Homecoming this year, and it was a great weekend. It was beautiful weather. So many of my classmates that came in town for this event are just blown away at what Spartanburg has become and all of the growth. They are just like, what is happening? This is so amazing. So it was really exciting to see them be so excited when we didn't really have anything to do. I'm aging myself.
Well, it's been a long time since they were in town.
So it was really exciting, and I'm just glad that they got to be a part of seeing that. Ruth, to your point about the young child that was murdered, this past weekend there was a mass shooting in my hometown of Beaufort, South Carolina. You all may be familiar and have heard about it on St. Helena Island, which is just a few miles from where I grew up. And it made me think, we receive these crime index reports every month, and we need to do better. I was going and reading through the crime stats, and one of them was about the number of guns that have been stolen since up through Jan 1 through September. And of 108 of those weapons, 44, which is 41% of those guns, were stolen from unlocked vehicles. Unlocked vehicles. If you don't know how to responsibly have a weapon, you should not have one. It's just, I cannot, when I think about these young people and some of the events that have happened since, I wonder, and I go to bed at night and I'm like, I wonder if one of the weapons used is one of these stolen weapons. And keeps me up at night. I don't know what the answer is, but it does keep me up at night, and it pains me to see that we have so many people that settle their differences by way of violence. And we have to do better. We must do better. And, you know, if you are one of those individuals who has had your weapon stolen from your unlocked vehicle, you are a part of the problem. You need to be a part of the solution. If you are going to, my parents are retired Marines. My father has an arsenal. I'm just being honest. He is an outdoorsman, he's a hunter, he's all of the things. There is a safe in our home that is larger than this here. I mean, it takes actual machinery to remove it from the home. But he is a responsible gun owner. And we need to do better. Please do not be a part of the problem and contribute to this problem. Please be a part of this solution. Get involved and lock up your weapons if you're going to have one. So, thank you.
Thank you for that. And thank you all for all of the comments. A couple quick things, not necessarily quick, but since we are talking about the violence piece, Megan, thank you for your comments on the hate. In the reactions we've gotten these last couple of council meetings, I was going to have this long drawn out, but you said it well. I mean, and we are up here doing what we feel is in the best interest of Spartanburg. And we have been elected to these positions, and that's why we sit in these seats. That's why we serve and do what we do. So again, staff make recommendations to the mayor and council, and it's just their recommendation. We make the final vote. It's not about staff. It's not about other individuals that may play a part. We are the ones that have been elected to make these decisions and to cast these votes. And I know that does come with some criticism, but not to where, like you said, we need to be eliminated. Wow, that's crazy. Stop the violence. I don't know if you guys noticed the young men and young ladies that came in. We have Miss Tess Thompson, Miss Karen Beasley, Miss Lily Green, Miss Angela Edwards, and some young men with the Stop the Violence coalition that are here. And they've had opportunities where we've had meetings, we've had sit-downs, we've talked about the gang violence, we've talked about marching over in Collins Park, we've talked about and just had a brunch with Miss Beasley about the life that are lost here. And so thank you all for being here today, and we definitely want to talk with those young men here following. So thank you all for being here. Thank you.
Young ladies too.
I just mentioned their names. I called out these young ladies. I called them out by name. I just do happen to know all of them, so thank you for that. Stop the Violence Coalition, thank you for coming out. National Night Out was major. We had 14 different sites that had an opportunity to participate in National Night Out. Shay and I made 13. We didn't make all 14, but we did.
Woodland Heights was the one you didn't make.
We made Woodland Heights. We were at the church across the street.
I didn't see it.
Okay, don't call me. Ask your son. Ask your son. Yeah. Oh. Don't call me out like that. And I won't share which one we didn't make, but that was an awesome event. And I shared that piece to say the information that was given out, not only from PD, not only from the neighborhood, but we had a young lady that works for us now, works for the city now, that gave information to a friend of hers about one of Miss Beasley's, well, not one of her events, the event she shared, she had on this past Saturday. And the information came, and they had lost children. And I won't go into all the details, but they needed that group. They needed that space for themselves to talk about that grief. And Miss Beasley, thank you. Thank you. And I'm Joe Jones, man, my buddy of mine. I mean, because I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Joe Jones, and Joe gonna get me. That's Joe's wife. Joe's definitely gonna get me. Thank you for correcting me too, because I kept saying Beast. And Firemen had their open house on yesterday. Chief, thank you. Well received. I know when we were there early on, very well received. Shay was crawling through the little smoke and all that on all fours. And so I appreciate her participating. Police open house this coming Saturday. Police open house this coming Saturday from 8 to 12. Ribbon cutting.
Where's the mayor's phone?
Miles with the mayor's the last thing. Slow your roll, slow your roll. Spartanburg is on. If you guys have not utilized Spartanburg yet, please do. Please, ma'am, please, sir. It's a service that we are providing here in Spartanburg, and it's an awesome opportunity. And if you have not participated, please do. Just another service inside the city. One of our favorite events is International Festival. International Festival was also had just a couple weeks ago, and we had a great time at the International Festival. The fair, I think, leaves tonight or tomorrow, if you hadn't gone to the fair. And last but not least, if you come to Miles with the Mayor, 9 o'clock Saturday morning, we will meet on Morgan Square. Our tour will take us down to the planetarium. So if you do not have an opportunity to make it Friday, that's what you get for leaving out of town. We will have an opportunity to walk in and see the planetarium during the Miles with the Mayor walk this coming Saturday at 9 o'clock. So I think that's all for me. And again, thank you all for being here. I know. If you didn't catch that, Spartanburg High School beat Dorman this past. and as far as Erica's homecoming, I think it was 35. I don't know. Just kidding. Having a good time tonight, guys. Thank you all for being here, and I definitely love seeing our young people. I know Tony Sutton has her granddaughter. I know we always see, yes, always with his kids and young folks and the young men we mentioned earlier in the college students. So thank you all for being here. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion that we adjourn.
All right. All in favor, let's go home. Thank you. You out?